I wanted to take a moment to talk about being thankful, even when it hurts. You are not the culmination of all the things that have happened to you in life. You're the culmination despite all the things that have happened to you in life. You are your highest self all the time. Everything else is just things that have been added on over the years, the traumas, the pain, the things that you've had to endure, the moments where you thought you were forsaken. And those things were never really you. They were your reaction to the situation rather than the response to the situation. So gratitude comes in many, many ways. We are faced in life with lessons, tests, and gifts. And sometimes bits and pieces of all three at the same time. Sometimes a lesson will be a gift. Sometimes the test will be a gift. Sometimes the gift is the lesson. It's important to learn from every situation that you fall in. And God, it gets hard. It can get really tough. I've seen a lot of people in a lot of really bad situations, and despite that situation, they came out shining on the other end. I've heard it said that the universe will send you the same person in a different body until you learn the lesson. And that's true. That's one of the reasons we get in relationships that don't serve us or we don't think serves us. It's the reason we put up with the things that we do from certain people, certain situations, family members, all of that. And sometimes those people, not sometimes, all the time, those people, those family members, those loved ones, those spouses, children, they will keep coming at us in the same way to trigger us until we get it. And I mean, so many of us are closed off to what the universe is bringing in because we don't want to see it. We don't want to learn the lessons because it's very painful. It hurts. It's God, it'll crush your heart sometimes. But that's what you need. And I hate to say it. Those things that happened to you 20 years ago, 10 years ago, yesterday, they're not who you are. They're the lesson, the test, or the gift that you were given despite who you are. I think it's important that we remember what we are first. We're spiritual beings having human experiences. And that sounds really cliche and kind of wonky, but I like it because it makes so much sense. It's the easy answer to a very complicated question. We are not the things that we experience, and we are not our homes, our bank accounts, our cars. We're not the make-believe that we make believe. And so it's important to realize that no matter how hard it was at any point in your life, that was put there to help you grow. I may not know a lot of things, but I do know that God's not the one that's judging us. We're the ones that are judging us. We judge ourselves with shame and guilt, and then we try to repress that. And if we're effective, we repress it so deeply into our subconscious that it gets swallowed there and comes up as some type of neurosis of some sort, an addiction, an eating disorder. Sometimes we've been hurt so bad that we think that we're the ones that need to do the hurting first because it's going to happen anyway, so it might as well be with us because at least our heart is in the right place. And that's how bullies are born. Bullies are born from other bullies. And that's sad because I've met a lot of people in my life that have been bullied and were bullies, and the shame that comes with that. not only being bullied, but bullying. We think that people don't have hearts, but there is no true good or evil. There are only shades of gray in the middle. Horrible people do great things, and great people do horrible things. We don't want to admit that. We want to think that things are black or white, that it's this person is good or bad, and it's never that case. We do what we do when we do it because we believe that's the right thing to do at the time. Like, how else are they going to learn from their actions if I don't be the asshole in this situation? Well, you don't need to. You really, really don't. You don't need to be the asshole. You need to be the kind-hearted person that hears them. Maybe they've never been heard before. I mean, you've been in situations where you're talking to somebody and they're hearing something completely different than what you're saying. It's because you're triggering them. You're triggering things like, you're not a horrible person, but you're doing horrible shit right now. And you don't have to. It's a make-believe thing that you have created so you don't get hurt. And we go so far out of our way to prove points. And that's just ego messing in the here and now. And the ego's fine if you integrate it. If you don't integrate it and it's taking control of your life, that's when it gets a little crazy and a little, the momentum gets to be so much that sometimes it's a freight train and you can't stop it. So that's why I think that affirmations are so important. And one affirmation I've been playing with is be thankful even if it hurts. And that's a very hard thing to do, because you grit your teeth and you hold back a tear and you go, okay, I needed that. That person showed me something about myself that I didn't know was there. And for that, I have to be grateful. It doesn't mean that you have to suck up disrespect. You don't have to let people treat you poorly. But it also means that you don't have to give that back either. You don't have to treat them poorly because they've treated you poorly. It's not like turning the other cheek, but it kind of is. It's slippery wording. You don't necessarily turn the other cheek, but when you understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, it makes it a lot easier, because that's where forgiveness hides. Forgiveness hides in the spot that you look at last. And that spot is usually the finger pointing at the observer. We've all done terrible things in our lives, to whatever degree. And when we can accept that, when we can take in our shadows, have coffee with Satan, sit down and really discuss, like, all right, what is this? What is this pain that I'm feeling? The answer comes usually in a very soft whisper. It's you. It's the way you look at it. It's your thoughts regarding that. What we think is what is. That's the heart of manifestation. You don't manifest a brand new home or a new car. You manifest whatever the hell you're thinking about at the time you're thinking it. And that starts the spark. So if your head is always in the gutter and you're always thinking, poor me, that victim mentality stuff, nobody's saying that it didn't happen to you. What we're saying is, don't live there. Don't reside in that place. It's not necessary. You don't have to relive that experience over and over and over again for the rest of your life and feel as shitty about it as you did the first day that it happened. You can take that and move away from it and start learning from it and seeing what you did to cause that situation. I mean, you're not going to walk through a bad neighborhood and shout and scream and not expect to get some type of attention, right? You're not going to tie a weight to your leg and go swimming because you're going to drown. And that is the heart of the reality of it. Don't put yourself in situations that you know are going to be toxic, unless that's what you're looking for. If you want a lesson, go for it. That will be the thing that brings you to the place that you need to be. But if you start thinking positively about things, you start changing your mind. The Hermetics called it mental alchemy, and it has something to do with the law of polarity. Existence is a battery. There is a light side and a dark side. Not a good and evil, a light side and a dark side. And you can switch the polarity on things with a thought. So it's not woe is me, it's what am I going to do next, right? They say that millionaires, self-made millionaires, inventors, they had 100 different bad ideas that didn't go anywhere, but then there was that one that did. And I've heard people say that they're just so stupid that they didn't realize that they can't do it. Well, it's because they always knew they could. If they came up with the right situation, the right scenario, they could catapult themselves into success by just not giving up. And in that is like the heart of meditation, prayer, martial arts, UFC, all of that stuff falls into not giving up. Get the hell back up and start doing it again. Think differently about the same situation. But if you keep thinking the same way about the same thing, it's always going to be that way. That's it. And we have a choice. You can use the mental alchemy and go, okay, this was a bad scenario, but I still want to do that thing. What do I do? Change your mind on it. Do something a little bit differently than you did yesterday to find the solution to a problem that never needed to exist. Just rethink it.